Hello, everyone. My name is Jonathan Liu, and I'm here to present my research on the gut microbiome in relation to the brain within the Parkinson's disease population. I was guided by my mentor, Dr. Robert Oscar, throughout this project. Today, I'm going to be discussing the relationship between the gut and the brain by way of the vagus nerve. I will be dividing this presentation into the abstract, statement of research, background, methodology, and what's next, or in other words, the future of this developing area of research. This project I worked over this summer is still ongoing as we still have yet to collect all the data. So as of now, this presentation will have incomplete results. I would like to start out with introducing the concept of microbiomes. All over our body, we have many microbiomes that harbor many different types of microorganisms, bacteria, and viruses. The mouth itself has its own microbiome and consists of different bacteria that can be both beneficial and harmful. The skin is another example that has its own microbiome. Today, we'll be looking at the gut microbiome. The gut specifically flourished with all sorts of organisms and microbes that actually has a hand of influencing the brain by way of the vagus nerve, as I will discuss further in this presentation. There are three main regions of the body that we have focused on during this project: the gut, the vagus nerve, and the brain. The gut usually is referred to as second brain, mainly because of interactions with the nervous system and how it communicates with the brain. The gut has a hand in many different chemical signals responsible for the various diseases in our body. The gut can be defined as being small, large intestine, and the stomach. Due to the high concentration of the acids in the stomach, most bacteria and microorganisms cannot live there. As a result, most organisms will be mainly from the small and large intestine. Next up is the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve, the 10th of the 12th, 10 out of 12 created nerve within the body, innervates the hearts, lungs, and digestive tract. The nerve itself originates from the brainstem all the way down to the abdomen. The vagus nerve does both sensory and motor functions to different organs of the body. The nerve provides sensory functions for the heart, allowing it to be conveying parasympathetic innervations to the sinoatrial and atrial ventricular nodes. It also provides motor functions such as the muscles in the throat for swallowing. The brain is an organ made with the nervous tissue that acts like a control center, coordinating the body's sensory information and motor responses. I will be starting with the abstract. There has been extensive research on the vagus nerve, showing that that has many certain effects on the brain functions. As I go in deeper, signals from the brain are actually sent from the brain from the gut microbiome with different inflammatory responses. So to test this, we bought actually kits from Sun Genomics. It's about $100 kit, and during this summer we'll be testing on ourselves to see how it works, so we can for later on test it on many different types of populations such as Parkinson's disease, schizophrenia, and autism. We also are working with the Dean of College of Health and Sciences with his project on Tai Chi and how that can help with some symptoms of Parkinson's. So that is the feature of this project. Next up is statement of research. The problem to be investigated with this research is investigate whether or not we can use this commercially available kit from Sun Genomics to profile different microorganisms within the microbiome. We are mainly focusing on Parkinson's disease, the ones that affect the vagus nerve and interactions that affect on the brain. Like I said, we will pinpoint different organisms that simulate various symptoms of the disease to see which ones are actually affects the disease. Before I go in further with this topic, I would like to dive deeper with the background. Strong research has shown a correlation between the microbiome and the vagus nerve. Changes in the gut microbiome trigger different activations of the vagus nerve, which plays a role in the brain functions and behavior. The vagus nerve innervates several parts of the human body, which can be divided into sensory motor functions. The sensory function of the vagus nerve innervates the laryngeal pharynx, the superior apical of the larynx, the heart, and the gastrointestinal tract. The motor functions innervates the pharynx, larynx, pleural glasses, and most muscles in the soft palate. There's also recent studies that show various vagal nerve signals from the gut that can trigger anti-inflammatory reflexes within the afferent signals to the brain. Different anti-inflammatory responses can actually affect the brain's function and overall behavior of different psychiatric diseases. So as I broke it down, um, from the gut to the microbiome, then the vagus nerve in the brain. Also, I mentioned previously, there's also been positive and negative interactions on the vagus nerve brain, depending on the different microbes within the microbiome. As there are different beneficial and harmful, it also translates to positive and negative interactions on the vagus nerve, which also results to different signals carrying out from the brain that carry out to make the body functions negative or positive. Yeah. The methodology. To test the microbiome, several kits were purchased from Genomics in order to analyze the samples. Each participant sends their data into some genomics. We will then test different people of varying conditions such as Parkinson's, microbiome, and the vagus nerve, as previous studies were shown to be connected in a way that changes a person's microbiome, have different effects on the person's vagus nerve stimulation, which then thus results in varying mental conditions. And what is next? Research has shown that microbiome is still yet to be fully discovered. As more studies develop with the gut microbiome and influences it has on the brain, it will have significant impact on various populations, such as populations who Parkinson's, autism, and schizophrenia. And this is my presentation. Thank you for listening.